Hey everybody, have another unboxing today. This time it's the UmiDigi Z2. And I just want to show this off. I went to Bangkok over the weekend and I got a portrait drawn of me by this indie artist. So I really like Bangkok because they have a lot of good indie artists and street arts like that. So I thought it was pretty cute. And this only costs like 50 baht, which is like 75 cents US. Anyway, this is the UmiDigi Z2. So UmiDigi usually has a pretty nice packaging, and this continues the trend. So let's check out the specs. You have a Helio P23, Android 8.1, so that's good. 6 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of internal storage, 6.2-inch display, 1080p panel, 16 megapixel camera with an 8 megapixel secondary camera. I believe the second camera on this phone is actually real. UmiDigi went out of its way to tell me. So we will check that out soon. Nice, so this is a pretty nice packaging. So you have a thank you card here. It says thank you. Building a great phone is hard enough, so building a great phone on a budget should be infinitely more difficult. Big thanks to all those who made this superior phone super awesome by contributing valuable time in developing hardware, software, and other developments. Basically a thank you card. That's sweet. Okay, so this phone has the case already right off the bat inside. Oh, nice. So this is I believe this is, they call this the Twilight color too, and it's obviously inspired by the Huawei P20 Pro, which has a similar gradient color scheme. It looks pretty nice. I'm gonna put this to the side first. I also gotta say I quite like this case. It's soft, but it's kind of grippy. It's not like those kind of gel cases, which kind of feels a little bit cheap to my hand. Yeah, this feels good. I like this case. Link to the world. So you have a SIM ejector tool here and instructions. Do we still need instructions for phones in 2018? Here you have a charging brick, a headphone jack dongle, or I mean a USB-C to a headphone jack dongle. And then you have right here a USB-C cable. That is red. It looks like a OnePlus cable. So overall, this is a pretty sleek packaging, but feels very nice. I like this extra cover that goes on top. It's a little better than just the standard white box that I get from, say, Blackview, for example. So now let's get to my favorite part. You get to peel. So this already has a screen protector applied. I left a little bubble. Okay. So the screen protector is already on the phone. That's always a nice touch. And on the back, you have another protective covering. Oh yeah. So this, oh wow, I really like this color, this back. Check it out. So if you look at it directly, it's black, and it kind of shifts into this blue purple tint gradient, and then you shift it a little bit and then the color moves. You see it looks now kind of blue. That's nice. I really like that this year Chinese phones are coming up with these new backs. So Huawei started first with the P20 Pro. That's when it had the gradient kind of moving color in the back, and then Oppo and Vivo, actually Oppo did it next with the Oppo Find X with that kind of the sides turning into purple. That, I think that looks very nice. I haven't had a chance to test that phone yet. I'm still waiting for it. And then this right here now, UmiDigi. This is a nice touch. Oh, the Honor 10 did it too. Yeah, Honor 10. So this phone, let's check the size really quick. Next to a Huawei P20 Pro. So it's roughly about the same size as the Huawei P20 Pro. Almost exactly the same actually. Same height and kind of the same riff. Yeah. The dimensions are very similar. So we'll power on the phone. I'm gonna set everything up and then I will be back. Oh, the chin looks like it's relatively small too for a, this is not a major flagship. So for a Sengen brand that's smaller, the chin is actually a pretty good size. Anyway, I'll be back. Hey guys, I'm back with the UmiDigi Z2. So my first impressions of this phone is this is a really well built phone. It feels very premium in the hand. So let's look at the back of the phone first. As I mentioned during the unboxing, this looks beautiful, but I also like the camera module layout and the fingerprint reader. I like that they're all perfect circles and it's completely down the middle. It's a very symmetrical look, which I like. If you remember, the Huawei Mate 10 Pro also had this look, and I thought that phone looked the best from the back. Okay, that sounds a little perverted, but I like it down the middle rather than on the left side like the iPhone 10 and all the other Android phones I've copied. And I also like that everything is circular, because on something like a Samsung Galaxy phone, they go with a rectangular camera module, and I actually don't like that. I prefer it circular. That's just personal preference though, but overall I think this is a very good looking back. One of the best looking backs of all the Android phones right now, if you ask me. So now you look at the front of the phone. This is a beautiful display, 1080p, but colors are bright. Viewing angles are also very good. Now I gotta nitpick a little bit though. I don't know why the notch has to be so big, because the reason the iPhone 10 has a notch this big is because it has a 3D facial scanning system, and the Xiaomi Mi 8 also has a big notch because it also has a similar system. But on phones, other Android phones without such a system, such as the Huawei P20 Pro or the OnePlus 6, the notch is a lot smaller because you only need a notch for the selfie camera, proximity sensor, and the earpiece. So I have no idea why the notch on the UmiDigi Z2 is so big. And to compound matters, you can only swipe down from the notification from the left or right of the notch. You cannot bring it down by swiping where the notch is. Now this is not Google's fault. This is UmiDigi not optimizing the software yet. Now to UmiDigi's credit, the rest of the phone software looks amazing because they left it plain. This is stock Android. So you swipe up to get the app tray, and you see not a lot of apps come out of the box, just all the stock Google apps. Swipe to the right, you get this Google Now page. Just everything, it's very clean. You can't bring down a notification though by swiping down the middle, which I hate. Which is one of the reasons why I think stock Android is a little bit overrated. Because on something like a OnePlus 6 or a Xiaomi phone, you can just do this and your notification comes down. On this phone or on a stock Android, what do you need to do? If you're using this phone out on the street with one hand, how are you going to bring down a notification shade? You have to like adjust your grip and do this, right? Or you have to use a second hand, and it's a little bit weird because in Hong Kong, and I'm pretty sure in New York and a lot of other major cities, a lot of times you're walking using a phone and you're holding like coffee or holding like a bag or something. Other than that, stock Android clean software. So I ran through some benchmarks already. Let's check out the score. This is a Helio P23 chipset. So it's a very good mid-tier chipset, but no flagship Snapdragon chip. So 785 single core, that's a little bit weak, but the multi-core at 3601, it's pretty good. I also ran AnTuTu benchmark, and the score, it's a respectable 83,511. So now you'll notice that when I'm running AnTuTu, part of the app gets cut off by the notch. So that means the notch, because it's so large, it gets in the way of Android's UI, because until Android P comes out, just the software is not designed for a notch this big. So now let's look at the ports of the phone. So at the bottom, you have a USB-C port and a single bottom fine speaker grill. On the left side, you have a SIM tray, and just the brushed aluminum feel just feels very nice. On the top, you have a mic, and otherwise a very clean top. On the right, you have a power button and a volume rocker. And then you have these subtle antenna lines here that I think look pretty nice. So this phone doesn't have a headphone jack. So as I mentioned, Helio P23, it's very solid. You can jump between apps very fast. You see everything bounce between well. You can go split screen mode, all of that. And I played a little bit of games. I played Spider-Man, I played Asphalt Extreme, and everything ran smoothly. On Asphalt Extreme, it does stutter a little bit when it gets very graphic intensive, but on Spider-Man, everything ran fine and the graphic looked very nice. Now you jump into Instagram, which is my favorite app to use to touch full screen mode, and I really like it. This display looks good. You can hide the navigation bar, which I like, so you get a true full screen experience. And look at this display. Looks good. Colors are very punchy. So now let's talk a little bit about the camera app. So I gotta say the camera app isn't finished yet. As mentioned earlier, the bokeh mode isn't there yet. UmiDigi will send a over-the-air software update to update everything. So right now, the camera app's a little bit bare bones. So you see right here, there's only picture and video mode. That's it. 2 modes. You swipe from the edge to get an extra panorama mode, but that's it. No time lapse, no slow motion yet, but that might come later. You swipe from the right, you see that the settings. And in video, you can only shoot up to 1080p, but at the default's at 720. So now, one of the concerns I have with this camera app so far, which I think might be fixed later, is that the button to switch to the selfie camera, it's all the way up top in the upper right corner. So if you're using this phone with one hand like this, again, you can't really reach that selfie button. On other phones, on a lot of other phones, you're able to just do this, like swipe on the camera viewfinder to flip to the selfie camera, or there's a button down here. So that's something I hope UmiDigi will fix with the next software. You do get these filters. They're pretty fun. They look pretty nice. Add a little bit of mood to photos. In general, the shutter speed, it's not the fastest. I find that, especially when I was taking photos in dim light situation, the shutter speed, there's a little split-second delay, but overall, pretty decent. Autofocus works relatively well. Again, it can't compare to a flagship phone, the autofocus, but it's fast for a mid-tier device out of Shenzhen. So we'll check out some photo samples really quick. I think this phone's camera, again, the software is not finished, so these photos might look better later on. Right now, so far, it's pretty decent, above average. So you see this shot right here, dynamic range is pretty poor, but then you come to this shot and it's a very beautiful, well detailed image. So colors are a little bit on the kind of dull side, but really not much to complain about this camera. So this is a low light shot in my room, and you notice that there's pretty good details despite that this is in my room with the curtains closed and no light on, so it's pretty dim in there. So this is very respectable, pretty well, and this is shot with a filter. Looks pretty fun. So we'll check out some video samples really quick. So video right now, it's a little bit lagging other phones I've tested. So you see the dynamic range is very poor. When I pointed the phone up at the sky, it's completely overexposed. You see, like, you can't see any, the sky's completely blown out, and obviously no stabilization, but colors are accurate and video details are pretty solid for 1080p. So we'll check out the selfie camera really quick. Video selfie camera. I'm not sure how good the mic is, so I guess when you're watching this you'll be able to see. So selfie camera, it's serviceable. Okay, we know what we gotta do. We gotta do the usual video test right here. So let's start at 75% volume first. So the sound is coming off from the bottom speaker completely. You can muffle it with one hand, one finger like this. This is 75% volume. We'll go up to max volume. Max volume. So yeah, the speaker, it's average. Not a great speaker, but not terrible. Serviceable. Call quality and reception was pretty good. I used the phone outside a little bit. I was able to get 4G network with no problems. So this phone, UmiDigi Z2, sells for $270 right now in GearBest. So I think this price, you're getting a very well-built phone. Performance can be better, but I'll wait until the final software hits before I judge it. If you just get this phone just for the look and feel, I think you're going to be happy, because this is a $260 phone and you can put this next to a Huawei P20 or something like a Xiaomi Mi 8, and it really kind of looks and feels very similar. It's not as powerful obviously, but the phone looks good, and if you're holding this in public, no one's going to know that this is a budget Chinese phone. It's very nicely built. I'll be back with a proper review later on. Right now the software, it's a little bit not finished yet. So thanks for watching.